Hey, folks, my guest today is Julian Delane. She's the founder of Codiga, a company that helps developers write better code faster. He was a tech lead at Twitter and Amazon Web Services before this. Julian, you ready to take us to the top?
Yes.
Okay,
Thanks for having me today.
hopefully you have lots of Twitter stock and lots of AWS stock, right?
I had. But at some point you take the jump, and when you make the jump, you need to sell your stock.
Okay,
And
when did you jump?
last year.
So you just launched the business last year.
Yeah. So like many people that come from tech, I was doing the company a little bit on the side, and at some point I decided to go full time. So I left my job at Twitter and went full time last year. At some point, I think it's really important to have an area of focus, and it's really hard to be an employee in a large company like this, especially when you have responsibilities such as leading a team and making a startup. Like a startup is a full-time job by itself.
No, I totally agree. So this makes sense. Now, you were working on this by yourself. You took the leap and you quit. Help me understand. Do you have customers today? And if so, what are they paying you for? What's the tool do?
Yeah, so we started with a tool that do what we do what we call automated code review. So you push your code, and then we detect vulnerabilities, coding style issues, all the issues you're gonna have in your code. And so before you deploy your code in production, we find these issues. That first product attracted more than 15,000 users. On these 15,000 users today, we have about 50 paying customers. But the customers that are paying are a pretty large customer. We only charge when your team is more than 5 users. So we want to give the tool for free to most of the users, including individual users, and then focus on large companies. Mm-hmm. If you think about it, you have companies like Dropbox. Only 1% of the users are really paying users. And this is kind of the same model.
Mm-hmm. And so when someone is paying you, what's the average company paying you per month to use Codiga?
Oh, it totally depends on the number of users, of course. So we have large companies and small teams. So the size of the teams depend between roughly 10 to 50 users. So it's about 500, at most per month, or 100 or 200 a month per team.
Okay, but maybe a sweet spot might be $200 or $300 a month for 20 to 30 seats.
Yeah, that's correct.
I see.
And so we started with this product, and at some point we realized that we were only analyzing the code when people push the code. So you write the code, and when you're done, you push it. And then we realized pretty quickly that, in fact, what we need to do is help the developer write better code upfront. So think like you are writing the code, like you write a Google Doc. You have real-time suggestions about what you should write, how to improve your style. And so we started to have another product called the Coding Assistant that suggests block of code for the developer. So as you write code, we suggest what you should write.
Yeah, this makes a lot of sense. You're using ideas and code snippets that have already been validated by thousands of other developers.
Yes, that's correct. And right now on the platform, as we have 14,000 users, what we really did is grow the platform as much as we can, use this user to put code snippets. And so we have an engine after that match what you ask, like, for example, read a file, get data from Twitter, and then we suggest block of code. Mm-hmm. That product has been in development right now for 6 months, and we're going to announce a public launch within the next 1 or 2 months.
Oh, what's going on there, YouTube? Good to see you guys. Now imagine this. You love watching these interviews with SaaS founders, but imagine if we took all of the valuation data out from over 2,807 interviews I've done manually. Saves you a lot of time. Well, we've done this. We've built it into the beautiful interface inside of FounderPath. Check this out. I'll show you how you can access this in a second, but you log in, you connect your Stripe account, you see your valuation real time, you can see what it changed over the past 88 days, and even set goals for valuation this year. Now, the secret to valuation is there's many different ways to value a SaaS business. So the reason you're going to see 3 or 4 different valuations inside of your FounderPath dashboard, this is all free, by the way, is because depending on who's doing the buying of your SaaS company, you're going to get a different valuation. A VC is going to pay a different valuation. Private equity firm is different. If you're going to do a minority sale, that's different. And if you sell the whole business, that's a different valuation. You can see all those when I hover over here. Right. So the teal is what a VC would pay. Yellow is what private equity. And red is if you sold the whole thing outright. Now, what's cool about this is not built off random data. Again, you guys hear these interviews on YouTube. All these data are built from real-time valuation data points founders share with us on the show. So traction, 1.2 million, seed round, 3.7 raise. They sold 22% of their business. Go in here and filter by the event. Maybe you only want to see companies that have sold the whole business. Well, here are a bunch that have been acquired, the valuation and the multiple. Maybe you're going out right now and you're raising your seed round. Well, go in here and look at all this recent seed deals that went down, what they raised, what valuation they raised at, and what percent that they sold. There's never been a larger data set of SaaS valuations than what you can get now inside of FounderPath, and we're thrilled to bring it to you. All right, we're going to go back to the YouTube video here in a second, but if you want to check this tool out, if you want to jump in and sign up, you can check it out for free to get your valuation at this link, founderpath.com/products/valuations. Or if you go to founderpath.com and hover over products, click on get your valuation here and go ahead and sign up to give it a whirl. Again, all that valuation data live right inside the platform. I hope to see you there. All right, let's jump back into the interview. So 50 paying customers at $300 a month. You're doing about 15,000 a month right now in revenue, something like that?
Something like that.
Okay. And what were you doing exactly a year ago? Do you remember?
Oh, zero.
Zero, yeah. Okay. And have you bootstrapped this or did you decide to raise capital?
Yeah, so that's an interesting story. I went through Techstars Boulder. So I did that last year. I went through Techstars Boulder. I was on the fence about raising money. And at some point, when you really want to develop a great product, I think having VC capital coming is really helpful. So I raised capital last year.
How much?
$2.1 million.
Okay.
And we raised. I learned a lot by raising because you learn a lot about the different. Basically, fundraising is like selling. You sell yourself. You sell a story. You sell a future, and it's something that I had to learn. It was really interesting. It took me a few months to complete the fundraise. But I'm really glad that we were able to raise with really known investors in the US, either angel or traditional VCs. And you have great support from them.
And so you raised 2.1 on a pre-seed. Was that on a note or a priced round?
It was a safe. So you have this safe from Y Combinator that is right now pretty used for all the startups. And with a safe, which is really great because you can simplify the way you raise money.
So there are two kinds of safes. Ones are capped and there are others that are uncapped. Was yours uncapped?
No, it was capped.
Okay. Most people, when they're raising their pre-seed, are selling 15 to 20% of the business if they convert at the cap. So was your cap around a 10 cap, 10 million?
I will not. I will not disclose a cap.
I nailed it. I'm right on the money. 10 million cap. Okay. So what's next?
So next for us is really about pushing this product for the coding assistants. The reason why it's because we believe that you're gonna need to have more and more software in the world, and you're gonna have more junior developers. Software is eating the world. You probably heard that phrase before. And the main issue you're gonna have is having junior developer write code really quickly. And I'm making a big bet on this product that we're going to launch in the next 2 to 3 months. I think we have an existing customer base that we can, use to promote the product. But what I really want to do is having a bottom-up approach. So have the product go viral. Don't care about revenue. My investor would probably not like this, but try to focus on product market fit and retention.
And Julian, how do you? So I guess let me ask some contextual questions here. Then we'll talk about retention. How many are on the team today, full time?
Today, full time, we have 7 people.
So, okay, 7 people, and all engineers?
No, actually, I have one developer relation. I have some engineer. I have some people that also do marketing and write content. Mm-hmm. So not all developer. I think tech founder sometimes has a has an issue with only hiring technical people and believes that all the issues are technical. And I think for tech founders need to learn how to do marketing. This is something I'm learning myself.
Well, how did you get 15,000 signups on your first product?
Oh, that's a good question. Take people where they are. What I did is try to look online where people are looking for such a product. So do a Google search and try to see where people are looking for you. So I wrote a bunch of blog posts and I put the product on different marketplaces where people are looking for such a product.
Name three of those marketplaces.
Yeah, so we are present on the GitHub marketplace.
So what is that? Oh, G2?
GitHub. So
GitHub.
GitHub is where you put your source code. So it's really easy for people to find you on the GitHub marketplace. We are also present on the Bitbucket marketplace. Atlassian has also a marketplace. And every ID
What was the middle one? Bitbucket?
Yeah, Bitbucket.
Yeah.
And also every developer tool have kind of a marketplace when you can propose your plugin and your extension. So we are present on this marketplace, and we try to really target specific keywords for people to find us. So if you're using GitHub and you want to have code review, you type code review and we are here. Same thing for Bitbucket. For the IDE, the same thing. You just go in your IDE, you look for code snippets or coding assistant, and we are here.
So how many users has GitHub driven you?
I would say today, so it's really interesting because you see different type of customers. We have a lot of users from GitHub, but most of the users are free users. On Bitbucket, we have way less Bitbucket users, but these users come from companies. And these companies are more paying customers. So the behavior is different, but the GitHub users are driving growth. And you have the word of mouth. People that start to use you on GitHub, they're going to talk about your product to their colleague, and then they're going to sign up. But then it's rare that they're going to pay.
Well, what I don't understand is most apps getting thousands of users from these marketplaces have dozens of reviews. But on the Atlassian marketplace, Codiga has one review. There's no reviews on GitHub, and I haven't opened the last one yet. So how are they giving you this much traffic?
Because of the number of people
downloading.
Available. Yeah, exactly. The number of people also on GitHub. Just GitHub today is such a massive website with so many users that if you can capture only a few % of the number of users, it's going to drive a lot of traffic.
So you have a new tool coming out. Your team's growing, 7 people. Obviously, you raise money, so you have plenty of runway. But your number one job is to not run out of cash. You have to manage burn, right? So how much are you burning per month right now? How many months of runway do you have?
Right now, we are burning about 50 to 60K a month. And
does that make you nervous, or are you okay with that?
I'm totally fine with that.
What is that? 24 plus months of runway?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. So the goal right now is really to be conservative on the runway, because what I want to do is to get product market fit. Have a tool when people come and use it every single day. That's really interesting because for the code review platform, initially, when we started to use it, we saw different behavior for the user and for the enterprise. Enterprise use it almost every day. User didn't use it every day. What we want to have is a coding assistant that people use every single day. So right now, we really focus on the product. Once you have this product market fit and this retention, then we're going to increase the monthly spending for doing more marketing and more marketing and more sales.
That makes a lot of sense.
It's more conservative right now because we develop the product. Once we lock product market fit, let's go and make more marketing and more sales.
Well, we'll see what happens. We're certainly rooting for you and your new product launch. But in the meantime, Julian, let's wrap up with the famous 5. Number 1, favorite business book.
I think the favorite business book will be Principle from Ray Dalio. Yeah. I think that's a book that gives you principle for how to manage a company. And I apply some of these principles at Codiga.
And number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
Maybe that one will be a little bit controversial. I like Brian Armstrong, his story at Coinbase. The way he manages a company is really principle driven, and I like that. Yeah.
That's great. Yep. Number 3, what's your favorite online tool for building a business?
Okay, maybe this one is really silly, but something that helped me a lot is Calendly, because you don't need to go back and forth with 2 or 3 email and follow all this email about finding a time. Calendly is simple. One link and you schedule a meeting, you got it.
And number 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
Not enough. 5 or 6 hours.
And what's your situation? Married, single, kids?
I mean, look at how I'm dressed. It's obvious. I'm single.
Okay, not married. Got it. And any kiddos or no?
No.
No kids. And how old are you, Julian?
I'm 38.
38. Last question. Something you wish you knew when you were 20.
Network more. Network more, build your network. At the end of the day, for example, for fundraising, people are going to invest in you because they know you, because they believe in you. Build your network. Always stay outside of your comfort zone. It's something that is really important.
Guys, he was at AWS, at Twitter as an engineer, launched and sort of took the jump in 2021 to launch Codiqa.io. Think about it like when you open a Gmail and you hit reply to the Gmail and it suggests a bunch of things you should write back. He's effectively doing that for writing code so that junior developers can write code much faster. He's not focused on monetizing right now because he's raised a bunch of money, 2.1 million pre-seed round at a 10 million valuation. He won't confirm that, but I know it's accurate. 10 million valuation. He's got about 50 paying customers from 15,000 total trialing users, doing about, call it $15,000 right now in monthly recurring revenue again, but not necessarily looking to monetize. There's a big product launch coming up. Wants to get a lot of free users first, then monetize. He has plenty of runway, burning $55,000 a month right now in revenue. Julian, we're rooting for you. Thanks for taking us to the top.
Thanks.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers, they try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.